Good evening, everyone. This is very impromptu. We just published the video of Visitation Rights with the wonderful Anninge, and I asked her if she quickly wanted to jump online and do a live discussion. This will be very brief, very quick. As you can see, completely impromptu. I don't even have my black screen at the back. Um, so yes, let's welcome Anninge to the conversation. Hello.
Hello.
How are you? Where are you calling us in
Ah,
from?
hey,
Where are you
Gordon's
calling us
Way.
from?
And my
Oh,
lounge.
lovely,
Very
lovely.
untidy bookshelf behind me.
That's fine. I've got a whole. Usually, there's a black screen behind me when I go professional, but like I said, this is very impromptu. Um,
Too impromptu to be pro.
it's good to be impromptu sometimes. Just to while we are still in this emotion of the video just being released. I thought it was a good idea just to quickly have a chat with you. Um, So basically, what was your first reaction when you got the script or this extraction of a piece?
Um, I'm not sure if you remember, but you actually sent this piece to me shortly after you wrote it already. Not with the intention of me performing it or anything. You're just like, here, read this. Um, so I had quite a while to process it, I guess. I remember when I got it, I started reading it. My mother was driving and we were about to arrive home, but I started reading it in the car. And obviously, we arrived home and I couldn't stop reading. I was just like, I need to see what's going on here, what's happening here. So I just kept reading. I was like, stayed outside for an extra 10 minutes, just reading this piece and trying to figure out what is actually happening here. And then when you asked me to perform this, I was obviously very excited when you sent me exactly the same script that I was already so impressed with before. Yeah, I suppose it was a different experience when you sent it to me then because I'd already sort of been thinking about it. And I must say the piece has so many questions, so many spaces to fill in that for an actor, sort of as actress, I just had to sort of fill in my imagination to make it make sense to me. But I think for every person that watches it or reads it, the story would be slightly different.
And before we go on, just quickly give us a brief overview of you. How did you land into this crazy industry, performing wise, that sort of stuff? Just
Oh, fuck.
hey, PG.
Sorry, kids. So my parents decided it was a good idea to send me to speech and drama classes when I was in grade 1. Apparently, they just wanted me to learn how to speak better and interact better with other people and be more confident. Yeah, they did not expect that I would try to make a career out of this. But literally, since the first time I was on stage, I'm like, I love this. I want to do more of this shit. Sorry, I'm swearing again. Yes, and then I went on to make great life decisions like studying music and yeah, just wanting to perform the whole time. So I think I'm kind of stuck in here.
But I mean, well, I don't know. You're still studying music. You studied music. It's a kind of a gap between music and acting. What makes you do that jump?
I'm actually trying to fill the gap. So for me, it's always been a big distinction. I mean, I did drama for like basically my entire life, and I started doing music after I started doing drama. And then only when I was in high school, I started doing singing. And then I started realizing, but listen, music and drama can go together. Like, it doesn't need to be two separate things. But obviously, like my classes will still get separate. And in drama, the technique would so much be focused on drama and singing, it's all focused on singing technique that you don't have space to explore the dramatic side of the music. So it's actually only really now after I've left university that I feel like I've got the space to explore combining the two more, because there's a big gap, but there also isn't a big gap,
Definitely.
Yeah.
And then going more into the visitation rights, it's
Mhm.
a difficult piece. It's a emotional piece, but you pulled it off beautifully. Um, as everyone knows, Downstage is adapting to COVID-19, and one of our projects we're doing is the DSP in digital, which is basically actors and actresses forming pieces at their homes on their cell phones. And we are making that very clear so that people know it is being done in this fashion. But I mean, just getting the piece, it's a bit of an emotional piece, it's a bit of a um, sentimental piece, it's a mixed match. What was your emotions while doing this? Going play us through it. Like, what did you feel? What did you think?
It's a bit difficult to do it like that. Let's see how I can. I mean, there's so much in the story. Like for me to be able to tell you the emotions that I was going through while doing it, I literally have to basically play the whole thing in my mind. Um, but I want to say for me, the most obvious thing is it's sort of like I was feeling a very, I want to say it was all moving between being nostalgic and re-experiencing that excitedness at the same time as having a sadness and sort of in reflection, like a sadness that might, you've got the sadness that I was experiencing way back then, like, that the child was experiencing, and then you've got the sadness in reflection present. So how the older person is viewing it. But at the same time, you've also got this, like, I really feel that my character was not proud of herself, but like, I want to say happy in how she handled it because she sort of remarks that, even back then she was 10 years old, but she knew that she shouldn't worry her mom. It's all this mixture of very positive emotions and some not so positive emotions. What I found really difficult was re-entering that space after I had to portray the dad and the security guard for a bit. Up till then I could focus on my character and be, and I want to say I could enter the right space. But the moment I had to leave that to be the security guard and the dad was really difficult for me to actually get back into that again.
And one thing, I mean, when I sent it to you, I said adapted like you would. And
Mm.
one thing I noticed is that you didn't change it from, apologies, from little guy. You skipped it, little guy. So in a way, you portrayed a male, if I'm
Yes.
correct. Is
Because
there a definite meaning why you decide to keep it into a regional context and not change it to a little girl?
um two reasons. One, little guy and little girl have two very different rings to it. Like if you hear a dad or an uncle saying, "Hey, little guy," to the boy, it's sort of like a nice, pleasant, "Hey, young child that I'm fond of," kind of thing. If you hear someone saying, "Hey, little girl," it's hardly ever positive. It's usually, it's just it's a different dynamic, if that makes sense. Um, but I also felt that I didn't want to gender the character, if that makes sense. Like I'm wearing the same hoodie as I was wearing, which I think I bought in the male section of. Are you there? Sorry, I'm frozen.
Yes.
Sorry. I think I bought in the male section of a shop. I had my hair back so that it wasn't like all feminine-ish. Um, I didn't want to place a gender on this character because the thing is, it's not the way the piece is written, except for little guy, which to me is sort of can go either way. It's not gender descriptive. I mean, this can be anybody. It could have been any child. You know. Um, yeah. Does that make sense? I
No,
mean,
it
I know
does.
I didn't discuss this with you before, and I sort of just made the decision on my own. But
No, and I mean, like I said, change it as you want, do with what you want. But I must say, I'm quite impressed that you kept the character gender neutral and not per se put it into a specific gender. Um, Reflecting a bit back to the piece, what do you think is the story behind the piece? Where do you think it stems from? That sort of stuff. What do you think was the idea?
Well, what I made up in my mind was that, obviously to me, I mean, I suppose it could have been a psychiatric institution or something like that too, but what the picture that I had was that it was, I would say, prison facility. And obviously, well, to me, I keep saying obviously, like, it wasn't, she must have been there for quite a long time. I mean, this had become part of this child's life. So I couldn't imagine what kind of crime the mother must have committed, because through the child's eyes, obviously, mommy was perfect. You know, mommy would not have been able to do anything wrong. She just happened to be there. But what sort of a crime it would have been, you know, I don't know. I was really struggling with figuring out why I was back there, if that makes sense. Like, I couldn't figure out if she had been released in the meantime and then some reason ended up getting committed again, or if I was for some reason taken there. I must say, every time that I practiced the piece, I had a different version of that in my mind, because I realized that that influenced me differently. And I actually can't remember which one I used for the final piece, the recording that I sent to you. Yeah.
It's very interesting hearing all these different stories. I'll afterwards, after live, I'll tell you the actual concept. But jumping also, again, I'm using that word a lot. I think it's because I don't have a script. Usually I have a worked out script, but this is impromptu.
I know, right?
So when you got to the piece the first time, that time when I still sent it to you, was that your same thought that the mother is in a facility, is in jail, or did you? What I'm trying to get to is, did you expect the ending? Because I mean, never in the piece it is mentioned what is actually happening. Only at the end with the words "mom."
Yes.
So, which was kind of a twist.
The first time I read it, I had a feeling that it would be, I want to say, something like that. But I didn't exactly expect it to be that. I expected it to be something with probably the mother, possibly the mother, because of what you described, the interaction with the dad, and the mom wasn't present, if you know what I mean. And obviously the excitement building up towards this. I couldn't imagine it being anyone else, but I wasn't sure where she was. Like, I remember thinking that maybe she's in hospital or something, like, you know, why would the child not be seeing her? I think it was only really at the end that I realized, okay, this is probably a prison. I actually think I initially thought it was a hospital. It would be that he's visiting her at a hospital or something until the end. But that's a long time ago. You're trying to make me remember now, hey?
I think the poster kind of gave it away.
In this case, yeah, for everyone else.
I think that made the final call. Any other thoughts about the piece? Would you like to see it go further? Would you like to see it in a full production? Or do you think it is perfect as it is, as a short and 5-minute, 7-minute piece? Or do you think it should be evolved into an hour production or a full production?
It's a difficult one, hey, because, like, I think this has a lot of power. You know, if you were to do it as a longer piece, it's I want to say, you're looking at the situation from an angle that very few other creators look at it from. And I think there's actually a lot of people in this country that would identify with it from that angle. But as a short piece, it holds a lot of nuance and a lot of, I want to say, the gaps, the gaps that people have to fill in themselves also holds a lot of power. So I don't know, eh?
And if we were to proceed in the future in making this into a full production, will you be standing in line to audition?
Definitely.
That's good to hear.
You have to kick me out if you don't want that to happen.
It's very good to hear. I mean, just from my side, like you sent it to me. I think a few days passed. I didn't even watch it. I didn't get it. It was a bit chaotic, and then I actually watched it, and I think I watched it like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, "Oh wow, I should have watched this earlier." And I kind of just like it was like 6 minutes where I just like kind of froze for a bit, and I went like, "Whoa, whoa, like whoa." There were a few times that I said the word whoa. And I mean, it was a thing of you showing the emotion, but and not through words, but with your expression and your pauses, and it was worked out so perfectly. And I mean, there was no pauses littered into the piece, there was no movement littered into the piece, and you made it your own. You made it this emotional, dramatic piece, which from a writer's point of view, I would like to say thank you. From a producer's point of view, I would also like to say thank you, because it shows the potential of this project. And I mean, it's also it's the I can't speak. It's been a long week. It also shows the potential of you being part of a downstage production team going forward in a way, with a certain production that's coming up, which we will not talk about, but sneak peek, it will come later. Just be prepared for that. But I mean, this was kind of the first time that downstage saw you in this type of performance way. I don't think we haven't dealt with you in a acting capacity. We've had multiple discussions, we've had multiple plans, but none of that actually ever came to a platform until this and Project X, as we will call it for now. But I mean, me personally, I look forward to working with you more, especially as producer's side mostly. And I hope it's the same for you. If it's not, that you can also say that. But I mean, just the way of you taking the emotion and putting it together, taking this piece. I mean, it's literally a paragraph long, and you took it and you made it your own. You made it stunning. You made it powerful. You made it emotional. It's an amazing show on your art form, and which I think is amazing. So thank you for that, and thank you for being prepared to do that. I mean, I know it was short notice and it was very COVID-19 style and bam bam, but you pulled it off and you did it wonderfully. Like, yeah, I'm grateful. Thank you for that, and that's for me. Would you like to say anything else about the piece, about anything upcoming soon-ish?
I'd just like to say that I'm really excited for the work that we are currently busy doing and for what we are about to produce. Yeah. And I'm really excited to work with you after that too. Also, darn you for sugarcoating and like layering on the flatter now. I don't know what to say.
I didn't sugarcoat. I didn't layer on.
Yes. But you were being incredibly flattering for the past minute. You're amazing and beautiful too.
It's well deserved.
And a brilliant writer.
Thank you. Yeah, so thank you for my side. Thank you for jumping in last minute, literally. I messaged her once. I think the piece, we just published the piece. I messaged you. I said, listen, do you quickly want to do a live interview?
Yeah.
I just thought it's the emotion is so strong that it should be tapped in while it is still raw and not wait a few days. So this is the first time that we're doing something like this. Maybe we will continue doing this, depending how I feel. But yes, thank you. By the way, for those who haven't seen it yet, it is on the Facebook page. It will be uploaded onto our YouTube channel shortly. Anninge, do you want to say anything specific about the upcoming project without giving away too much? I'm giving you a kind of permission to Scallum say something if you want.
It's going to be interesting. I'll say that much.
Good
That's about
words.
all I'm willing to say without accidentally giving something away. So, and encapsulates it pretty well. It's going to be interesting.
Okay, good words. From my side, from Downstage side, thank you for being able and being prepared to take on Visitation Rights on such short notice, being prepared to jump onto this live interview so on such short notice, and obviously excited for the next project, which I can't remember when we are liaising. But yes, thank you. Do you have any closing words to anyone? To the viewers, I almost want to say visitors.
Keep watching Downstage Productions. Just keep coming back to see if there's new cool shit. Yeah.
So, with that said, every Friday something will be released. It will be either Meet the Team series, Downstage Productions in digital, Downstage Productions in discussion, or technical workshops, which we are still working on. But every Friday at 7:30, something will be published on the page. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ninka. Once again, thank you for your wonderful art you've made. And I'll see you at our Zoom rehearsal next weekend.
You remembered the date.
I did somehow. It's there. Just like at the back, but it is there. Thank you. Have a lovely evening, Anninge, and yeah.
Thank you, Dion, for being amazing.
Oh, now the flattering is turning around. Go finish walking your dogs, because I do believe that I interrupted you while you were walking your dog. So go do that.
I did manage to get that.
Okay, good. So, yes, thank you. Have a lovely evening. To everyone, thank you. To everyone out there, to everyone who's tuned in, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in, and drop a comment, drop a like on this video and on Visitation Rights. If you have any questions for Anninge about the character or the piece, please drop it into the comments, and we will get back to you. Have a lovely evening and good night from Downstage, from Dion, and from Anninge.
Good night.